Zeus, the forgotten king? Zeus, the mightiest of the bomb, the ruler of Olympus, the father of gods and men. But what if he was never a god at all? What if the stories of his thunderous power, his divine rule, his eternal reign were not myths, but distorted memories of a real man? A man whose kingdom was lost to time. A man whose name was rewritten into legend. Tonight we explore the possibility that Zeus was not a deity, but a historical ruler. A king so powerful that his story became myth. A king whose true legacy has been buried, until now. In ancient Greece, Zeus was worshipped as a supreme god, the one who ruled over all. But unlike other deities, his stories are not just of creation. They are of war, conquest, and absolute rule, the kind of stories usually told about kings. Unlike the more mystical gods, Zeus walked among mortals. He had a court. He had warriors. He issued laws and declared punishments. His rule was not abstract, but tangible, governed by politics, alliances, and betrayals. Was Zeus simply an immortal god? Or was he a real leader, a powerful king whose reign was so extraordinary that later generations turned him into a god? Some believe that deep within the ruins of Crete, Mycenae, and other ancient cities, we may find traces of a king who once ruled not just a kingdom, but an entire civilization. If Zeus was real, where was his empire? Some researchers point to Crete, home of the Minoans, an advanced civilization that thrived thousands of years before classical Greece. The Minoans were known for grand palaces, complex infrastructure, and powerful rulers. And one name appears in their legends: Minos, the great king of Crete. Minos, whose name sounds eerily similar to Minos Zeus, the king who may have been the true Zeus. In Greek mythology, Zeus was raised in Crete. Some believe this is no coincidence. What if Zeus was not a divine being, but a ruler of Crete itself? A warlord who conquered rival kingdoms, shaping the myths that would later become the Olympian pantheon. And if so, did his kingdom vanish in disaster, or was it simply erased from history? The myths tell us that Zeus did not inherit power. He took it. His father, Cronus, ruled before him. But Zeus rebelled, launching a war in the heavens known as the Titanomachy. For 10 years, Zeus and his forces battled the Titans, an epic war that shaped the universe. But what if this was not a cosmic struggle, but a real war, a dynastic conflict between two rival factions, one led by an old tyrannical ruler and the other by an ambitious usurper? Some historians believe the Titanomachy represents a real power struggle in early civilization, perhaps between two ruling families, one ancient, one rising. A battle between the old gods of a fading empire and the new gods of a rising kingdom. Was Zeus a revolutionary who overthrew an oppressive regime? And if so, what secrets of that war have been lost to time? All great rulers eventually fade into history, but Zeus never did. According to legend, he never aged, never weakened, and never died. But what if this too was not magic, but political strategy? Many ancient kings were deified after death, turned into trees so their legacy would never be forgotten. Egyptian pharaohs, Roman emperors. Could the same have happened to Zeus? Perhaps his followers refused to let his rule end. Perhaps they created an immortal legacy, ensuring his name would never fade. Perhaps Zeus was simply a great king who became eternal through storytelling. If Zeus was real, where is he buried? For centuries, rumors have swirled of a lost tomb, a hidden burial site that contains the remains of Zeus himself. Ancient texts claim his tomb exists on Crete, the land of his birth. The Greek historian Euhemerus even claims Zeus was not a god, but a real man, buried in an unmarked grave. But if the tomb exists, why hasn't it been found? Did later rulers destroy all traces of Zeus the man, rewriting history so that no one would question his divinity? Or is the tomb still out there waiting to be uncovered? And if it is found, what would it tell us about the true history of Zeus? For thousands of years, we have been told that Zeus was a god of Olympus, a divine being who ruled from the heavens. But what if he was simply a man of flesh and blood, a king, a warrior, a ruler whose story was so grand that later generations turned him into something more, a god? If Zeus was real, then history as we know it is incomplete. And perhaps the true story of Zeus, the man, the ruler, the king, is still waiting to be told. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of Zeus, the Forgotten King. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of history, mythology, and the unexplained. Until next time, keep questioning, because the truth is always waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden history, subscribe to Beyond Official Records for more untold stories. Until next time, keep searching for the truth.